Who wouldn't love to develop superhuman abilities? Personally, I'd love to be able to fly, so that way I wouldn't have to face many of my problems. Number 1, if real, would be a nice one to have, so check that out. Here are 10 people with super abilities. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Dave Mullins. If you are of a certain age, you'd probably have a vague memory of the Superfriends. It's a Saturday morning cartoon show featuring Superman and a bunch of other DC superheroes. Think of it as an extremely watered, campy version of the Justice League. This cartoon is probably the reason why most people think that Aquaman is the crappiest superhero ever. Watch the cartoons and you'll see what I mean. Anyways though, Aquaman is cool now, thanks to Jason Momoa, as well as the Justice League cartoon, which gave him a hook for a hand. It was awesome! But I digress. Did you know that there actually is a real-life Aquaman? No, he can't talk to fish, he doesn't have super strength, and he doesn't have long golden locks that flow beautifully underwater. But he can hold his breath underwater for a really long time. Yeah, take that, Aquaman. New Zealander Dave Mullins is capable of swimming underwater for not only a record amount of time, but also record distance. In September of 2007, Mullins shattered his own record when he swam underwater for 4 minutes and 2 seconds. He also swam a total distance of 244 meters with a single breath. Try holding your breath for more than 4 minutes and see what's going to happen to you. He currently holds multiple free diving world records, including diving 265 meters in 4 minutes and 1 second. He set this record back in 2010 and it still remains unbeaten today. Number 9. NATASHA DEMKINA. NATASHA DEMKINA developed an interesting hobby when she was 10 years old. She found that she could scan her mother's body and describe in intimate detail the location and condition of all her mom's organs. News soon spread and her neighbors in her hometown of Saransk in western Russia began showing up at her doorstep for body scans and diagnosis. The local children's hospital decided to test her abilities, and the girl was able to draw a diagram of one of the doctor's stomachs with a dark area in the exact spot of his ulcer. She also contested the cancer diagnosis of one patient, and indeed, later tests supported Demkina's diagnosis of a benign cyst. In England, X-ray scans of another doctor led Demkina to describe multiple injuries that one of the doctors had received in a severe car crash without any knowledge of the accident, and the doctor was fully clothed. Obviously, Natasha's abilities have been questioned. There have been mixed reports about the accuracy of her readings. Some people believe them to be accurate, but there are still a lot of skeptics saying that it's all just a money-making scam. A real possibility given the fact that she charges $13 per reading, which can quickly add up to thousands of dollars every month, given the number of people that put their faith in her. Number 8. Ben Underwood. One of the most unique superpowers in comics must be echolocation. As far as I know, only Daredevil possesses this amazing ability. Echolocation is the ability to interpret echoes, however minute they are, and use them to navigate various environments and surroundings. To put it simply, echolocators use sound to see. Ben Underwood is a man that was able to develop echolocation abilities after he tragically lost both his eyes to cancer when he was just 2 years old. Simply by clicking his tongue and listening to the echoes, he is able to do what any normal-sighted human could do, like ride his bike and play basketball among others. The ability did not come naturally though, it actually took him years of practice to enhance his hearing to this level. With his bravery and perseverance, Ben taught us a valuable lesson: to never let a disability prevent us from living a normal life or stop us doing what we love to do. Number 7. Chris Morgan. This teen is so strong he can lift a car weighing about a ton with no trouble at all. Because of his enormous feats of strength, he was hailed as Britain's strongest teenager back in 2009. While most 17-year-olds lack discipline, Chris can be seen going to the gym and pumping iron up to 5 times a week. He also eats the equivalent of 5,000 calories per day. His colossal appetite actually means his parents' average weekly shopping bill is around 140 pounds, and they have had to sacrifice family vacations because of it. Chris regularly competed in weightlifting competitions until 2016. Chris Morgan is also openly gay. He supports a number of charities and sports organizations, and in 2004 he became a global ambassador to the Federation of Gay Games. He was a member of the Football Association's advisory group on homophobia from 2004 to 2008, and was also sponsored by sportswear manufacturer Umbro between 2004 and 2006. Number 6. Wim Hof. Being able to withstand the extremes of temperature is an asset to any superhero. Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman, is a Dutch extreme athlete noted for his ability to withstand freezing temperatures. He has set numerous world records, including one for swimming under ice and another for prolonged full-body contact with ice. He still currently holds the world record for a barefoot half marathon on ice and snow. In 2007, he attempted to climb Mount Everest wearing only the shorts, but failed. Not because he was too cold, however, rather because he injured his foot. Number 5. ALAIN Robert. If you have a fear of heights, then this next entry on our list is not for you because I guarantee that you'll get vertigo just by watching this guy in action. ALAIN Robert, also known as the French Spider-Man, has the uncanny ability to climb any structure he so wishes, and he does it without the help of any climbing gear, aside from chalk and really comfortable shoes. What's even more amazing is that he prefers to climb smooth, 90-degree surfaces with no obvious footholds in sight. Like his superhero namesake, he has developed quite a notorious reputation as well. He mostly climbs skyscrapers, and, he does it illegally. Yes, he's been arrested multiple times doing this. In fact, he's currently banned from climbing any structure in Britain. All of his exploits have been documented, and videos of him climbing to dizzying heights can be seen on YouTube. Better check him out because this might be your only chance to see a real-life Spider-Man in action. Number 4. Joy Milne. For most of her life, Joy Milne had a superpower that she was totally oblivious to. She simply had no idea she possessed an utterly amazing, slightly terrifying biological gift that scientists would itch to study. In fact, she'd probably still not know about her amazing ability if it weren't for her husband. They had been married for 10 years when one day, Joy noticed that her husband smelled different. At first, Joy thought it must be something from the hospital where he worked and told him to shower, but that didn't help. And over the weeks and months that followed, the smell just seemed to grow stronger. Years later, her husband was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and both of them joined a support group for people with Parkinson's. On the very first meeting the couple attended, Joy noticed that the other Parkinson's patients smelled the same as her husband. She can quite literally smell the disease. In tests conducted by Edinburgh University, she was able to successfully identify Parkinson's 11 out of 12 times. It's hoped there could be a molecular signature responsible for the odor that makes it possible for scientists to replicate the feat. Milne's husband sadly died from Parkinson's in 2015, and her last promise to him being that she would investigate her special ability and help others. Number 3. Das UBERBOY. The boy known only as Das UBERBOY has been studied by scientists for years, and they are still not close to understanding the gene mutation that gave the boy his unique ability. Born in 1999, Das UBERBOY is considered to be the strongest boy in the world. At that time, he was born with a rare genetic mutation that was only previously observed on cattle and mice. He was born lacking a specific protein that regulates muscle growth. In fact, he was born with more muscle definition than his father. His rare condition has given him incredible strength, and it's been said that he can lift up to 4 times his own body weight. As of the moment, he is being studied with the hopes of finding a cure for those who are suffering from muscular dystrophy. Now just 20 years old, this young man is totally ripped. And since nobody understands his condition up till now, there's no telling how far his superpower is going to take him. Now it's time for the day's best pick. It shows a woman smashing her head against and damaging steel shipping containers. I'm pretty sure that no head is as strong as that, so it's easy to dismiss this photo to be a hoax. But did you know that there actually is a person recognized for having the hardest head in the world? Find out who it is next with number 2. Kevin Shelley. Kevin Shelley is a fitness instructor and Mensa member who says he has an IQ of 148, which is highly contestable given what he does in his free time. He also claims to have the hardest head in the world, and he proves it by doing something that you wouldn't think that someone with an IQ of 148 would do: break toilet seats over his head. There might not be a Guinness World Record for having the hardest head, but Kevin does hold the world record for the most wooden toilet seats broken by his head in 1 minute, which is 46. Kevin, who is a lifelong martial artist, says he already held a couple of martial arts records for breaking stuff with forehead strikes. So when the Guinness Book of World Records people in Germany asked him to break the previous record of 42, he was just happy to oblige. Despite almost an entire lifetime of hitting things with his head, he claims to have never suffered a single concussion. In fact, his body seems to be coping with his insistence on breaking stuff on his forehead. If you look closely, he has a bump on his forehead which is actually calcium buildup on his bones, making his head a little stronger than any of us. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Number 1. John of God. In Brazil, there lives and works a man who appears to have the power to perform invisible surgeries with his hands, known only as John of God. According to stories, he was 16 when he was wandering from his village to village looking for work. While doing so, he had a vision to go to a local church, and it's said that he performed healing miracles there. Today, thousands of people visit John of God daily for healing. He performs visible surgeries without any anesthesia, and also invisible surgeries by laying on hands and also from afar. According to supporters of John, visible sutures have been seen on body scans of those who have undergone invisible surgeries. Again, this one made the list because of all the attention John of God has received. Also, there are people who were not cured, but for those who have been healed, John of God's superpowers should not be underestimated. Which super ability would you want to have? Let us know in the comments down below. Also check out our other channels with other amazing videos. As always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.